The Painting with Magic Show with Brandon Thomas is brought to you by BrandonThomasArtSupply.com.
Hey, it's Brandon T here with the Painting with Magic Show, and today we're going to do another awesome project. What I got planned for you today is a nice little painting with a beautiful meadow with some big old birch trees on the sides, maybe a little distant mountain, and we'll just see where all that takes us today. On the screen, you're going to see my palette. It's going to have some colors listed on there. And the only color I'm not using that's on that palette is Prussian blue. I'm using the Ultramarine blue deep today. So not Prussian blue, but Ultramarine blue. But that's why you got Prussian blue. I just use some of that. And when I have my 16 by 20 canvas, and I have a thin, even coat of Amazing White on there, and this is a Fredrix red label canvas, and I'm using the Grumbacher pre-tested oil paints. So with that, let's get monkey face. We'll take some old Ultramarine blue, just a little bit on the old 2-inch brush. Now, Ultramarine blue is not a very strong blue, so you kind of have to decide on what you want. So I'm just going to make sure I load it up pretty good, just by tapping it right into the blue with the old 2-inch brush. Alrighty, let's go back here now. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to use little circle strokes today. I want a nice open sky today. So leave all little open pockets. This is a fantastic way to paint your skies. It's always beautiful to paint them like this. Nice, open, and loose. Just a little bit more blue. So you just make it however strong you want to go today. Just leave some open pockets. There we go. Nice open little pockets going on. Okay, wipe out the brush here. I'll tell you what, let's go wash the old brush. Okay, we wash our brush in odorless mineral spirits. I like to use Terpenoid. Just wash it. Now I've got a little screen at the bottom of my bucket, and I'm just rubbing that gently across that screen. Then when I rake it out on the sides, give it a nice little shake right into the bucket. Shake it off. And there you go. We'll just beat the old tar out of it. And just dry it off on an old paper towel. Now we'll come up here with a nice clean dry brush, and we're going to use X strokes. Real gentle strokes. Real gentle strokes. Just like that. And that's going to give us a beautiful open sky. You don't have to do much more than just that right there to it. And you're good to go. There we go. Good. Good little sky. Got all those cloud movements in there with very little work. Very little effort. There we go. Let's beat that old brush out. There we go. Tell you what, let's throw down to the palette and work on our mountain mixture. I'm going to take some titanium white, a little bit of ivory black here, some ultramarine blue deep, and some Grumbacher red. And we'll just mix this up and see what kind of color we get. Okay, I'm going to add more blue. I need more blue in this. See, ultramarine blue is not a very strong color. It's just not a strong color. But we'll put what we need to put in it. That's a pretty good color there. I may add a little more white. Maybe more black. Just to get it more on the blue side instead of on the red side. I want to add more blue. So I'm adding more blue to this color. It needs more blue. That red is really overpowered it today. That's a good color. Now that's what I want right there. Nice gray blue color. Got a nice little roll of paint, and we'll go right up here. Now you gotta make a decision here of how your mountains are gonna lay in. And so I want to have it not dead center. Do not put your big peak at dead center. Put more to the left or towards the right. And I think I'm gonna put mine more towards the left of center. But the mountain will go straight through like that. And just press it in. Just press it in, just like that. Just like that right there. And use firm pressure. Use firm pressure when you're doing this. Now you don't want to do it too firm and snap your knife. When I was teaching classes, back on many years ago now. I used to have a student that would snap knives. She could break them things almost every class. We call her the knife killer. And she'd also eat the paint. She used to get paint all over her face. So, oh, she's eating paint, she's killing knives today. Okay, I tell you what, we'll take our old 2-inch brush. Beat it out just a little bit again. And we're just going to pull out this paint. And because Amazing White is on the old canvas, I can pull out my mountains just like that. Very easy and simple to do. And I get all these different tones automatically working for me today. Okay. And mist already going on. And then we're going to take our old palette knife today. And let's go down to the palette. Make sure your knife's good and clean. And we're going to pull out this white paint. I'm going to take a tiny bit of red. Just a tiny bit. And I'm done. Put too much red in there today. I'm in a red mood today, I guess. I got a ton of red going everywhere. But that's okay. We'll get a nice little pink glow going on. And so we're going to take this color, pull it out flat, and we're going to get a roll of paint. And let's go up here. I'm going to say my light's coming from the right today. So with no pressure. No pressure. Let that paint just break. Let it break. I go right down that old mountain. Here's another one. There it goes. Right down the mountain. Another roll of paint. There it goes. Right down the mountain. See? There we go. Nice little mountain. Maybe it's a little, take a little end of the knife and just pop in just a little bit right there. And we'll just finish it down like that. Let's go back down to the old palette. I've got titanium white here. It has that little red in it. And we're going to take some ultramarine blue. Remember, ultramarine blue is not a very strong blue. There you go. Make a decision and grow with it. There we go. Marble eyes. Got a beautiful little grain of blue going through. We get a little roll of paint. Let's go back here. Now on the left side of this mountain, that's where I'm going to throw in my shadows. Beautiful. Here we go. We're going to push this mountain back. Whoa. There he goes. That easily, you can have a beautiful mountain living in here. I'm just going to go back to the titanium white. Make sure your knife's good and clean. And then just clean up your shadows and your highlights and make it however which way you want to do it. However which way you want to do it. Coming right through there. And there he goes. Go back to the shadows. And that easily, you got yourself a nice little mountain living in here. Now you could do all kinds of stuff to this mountain. But I just want to do a nice little snow peak mountain for you today. Something about like that. Then we'll take our old 2-inch brush here and we can just tap. This brush is fairly clean. We didn't do much to it a while ago. I'm going to beat that brush out. And I'm going to try to get rid of this little bit of gray that's back here, but that's okay. It'll work. There we go. Just like that, we got a beautiful mountain living in our painting. There we go. Okay. Now that I got a nice clean dry brush, just make sure you just keep your brush as good and clean as you go. It just makes your life so much easier as you paint. So what I think I'll do now, I want some nice little foliage living down here. And I think I'll take a number 6 fan brush. Just a number 6 fan brush will do. And I'm going to take some titanium white and I'm mushing around here. And then I want a nice green tones living in here. So we'll take some sap green, put that in, so maybe some yellow ochre with it. Go down to the palette here. Okay. And so I'm going for a nice green color, and I'm going to take a little bit of burnt sienna. And what that does is that helps gray it down. And I'm going to add just a little bit of blue to it. Just a little bit of blue to it. Okay, that's a good color. That's what I'm looking for right here. Okay, let's go back here now. Living back through here, there's going to be some beautiful foliage. And I'm just using the brush and just kind of going up and down like this a little bit. I'm using the corner of my brush and just getting in some little designs and textures and all that good things. Beautiful little foliage just with this brush. It's that easy to do. Good. That's fantastic. Now I'll tell you what, I'm going to grab my liner brush and I'm just going to thin down a little bit of that tree color with some paint thinner. And just like that, I'm going to actually add this little touch of darkness to it, just so it pops a little better. And just every now and then, every other area, just add a little bit of this through here. And that just gives you a nice little extras that lives in this little painting. There we go. Good. There we go. Now you can take your time with that and you can really add some beautiful things. Now I'm just going to take that same dark color and I'm just going to add a little more blue. A little more sap green to that. Maybe a little bit of brown, burnt sienna. With that same exact color, I'm going to go below this one. And just have some fun in here. Get crazy, get monkey faced. Just like that. Simple. Just using the fan brush. Use an old fan brush. You can get some beautiful things that live in here. Just like that. Simple, simple, simple. Easy to do. Easy, easy, easy. There we go. Now I'm going to take a 1-inch brush. I'll tell you what. Let's go down to the palette. I'm going to take some amazing white with this color. And I'm going to take a little bit of the sap green with that. And hit these highlight colors. And let's go back here and just put a little bit of highlight on these. So way. These are way back here. Way back here. So I'm not wanting too much living back here, but I just want some indications of some light hitting back here, some textures, some more textures living on. So that's why I just grabbed the old 1-inch brush. You can use that. You can continue using the fan brush if you want, but this is going to be the easiest way to get them going and get some beautiful looking textures and trees and everything else going on back here. Just like that. That easily. Now, I'll tell you what. Let's go back to the palette. Now, I want a nice dark green. So, I'm going to take this mountain color we had going. Didn't matter how that red in it. I'm going to take some sap green with that. And some black. Good old black. Ivory black. Mix it up real good. Get it nice and dark. More sap green. Alright, I think that's going to do good. It's kind of marbleized. Okay, wipe the old knife off here. Now I just grabbed an old 2-inch brush and I'm just going to just tap my brush right into that color. Nice, good dark color. Just tap it in. I'll tell you what, let's go back here now. Now you can tap or however way you want to fill it up. However you want to go. I'm just going to tap it in. Just like that. Don't worry about the hard edge we're getting. We'll blend that and fix that up real good. Let's get this stuff going. Just fill it all up. That easy. You can even add a little bit of black to that color. And you can put a little dark area, a little bit extra dark areas living through here. That way it's not just solid color. And if you put amazing clear down here or some NTO clear medium, you would have to worry about it getting light. But I want the lights going on it because I don't want it to be super dark painting. Alright, I'm going to wash my brush. Now my brush is nice and clean and dry. I'm going to come in here and tap. I'm going to remove some of this paint because it's a clean, dry brush and there's a little bit of paint thinner still in the bristles. See, I just kind of remove some of that, and I'm going to beat the brush again. And then really dry it on a paper towel here. And then kind of use the brush and give it a push up like that. Just like that. That easily. Beat the brush out. And that usually gets out most of the paint right off the brush. Most of it's gone. Now let's put some beautiful tall grass through here. Let's go to the palette. I'm going to take Amazing White and I'm going to go through Cadmium Yellow and Yellow Ochre. I'm going to grab a little bit of red. Reload that brush up good. I'm going to show you a little bit of trick today, how to make some tall grass really easy and simple. So let's load that brush up good. Nice and load it up. There we go. Let's go back here now. I'm going to take the brush and I'm going to push up. Just like this. Just like that. See, I'm pressing the bristles up. Just like this. Go through here and do it all over. Do it all over. Flip the brush around and do it. Yeah, a little bit of blue or green to that. Blue makes green as well, but let's add a little sap green to this color. Now we just fill it all up. Now, you may be saying, I know how to do this grass. I've done this grass a bunch of times. I'm going to show you another little trick. When you paint this grass, that you get beautiful looking tall grass. And leave those nice darks in the middle. If you don't leave those darks in the middle, you're going to be in trouble. Just like that. I'm hoping you can see with these new angles that this brush and how it's working. The brush is almost loaded to a chiseled point. It's not quite there. These bristles are soft, okay? They're stiff, but they're designed in a way so whenever you paint, they're softer. They're softer. They're still boar bristle. It's a boar bristle, but because of how I designed it to be filled into the ferrule, it allows you to paint like a softer brush. Okay, just like so. Right now it's a little bit harsh, but it still looks pretty good. I still like that look. I'm going to add a little titanium white with my yellow. And just give it a little extra pop every other place. Maybe a little more Amazing White to it. Will help it. Okay, good. There we go. I think that's good enough. Okay, I got a 2-inch hake brush. I'm going to take this brush here now and I'm going to pull up. Just like this. I pull up just like this. Oh man, I get all kinds of beautiful little tall grasses. It softens the grass and it makes this look really tall. Makes it look really tall through here. See that? Very cool little technique. Then you can come in here and you can just smash in some more little areas that you want to add to it. But that's simple. You can do a cool little effect and make some very tall grass. Really simple and easy. See? Beautiful little tall grasses. Beautiful grass. Okay, and it may look darker over here than it actually is on the camera, but there we go. Good to go. Now I tell you what I'll do. Let's go to the palette. Okay, this is where you let those creative sparks fly. This is where you make a decision of how you want things to be. I'm going to take some, make some pink here. I'm going to take some red and some white and just crunch the brush right into that paint. Let's go back here. And living right on top of this tall grass is some beautiful little flowers. And you can decide if you want it more red, more pink. You may have to add a little more paint thinner to your bristles because you want this to be thin. So it just flows right through here. And you can use the 1-inch brush to do this if you want to, but I'm just going to try to get a little more control here. I'm just going to use my fan brush here. And kind of tap, but I'm kind of also pressing in. So I got some darker red ones coming through here now. I'm also going to add some more white and make it lighter again like it was at the beginning. A little bit more paint thinner. And just add those through. You can use blue. You can use whatever sets you on fire. Whatever makes you feel good. That's what you use. Today I just want some warmth in here. We got a lot of cool colors going on, so I really want some warmth in here. And this is a fantastic way to add your warmth. Is with the little flowers and things you add. Just kind of balances the painting out. Balances it out. Just like that. Balances it all out. Then I'll wash the brush, and just to get some more color harmony, I'll take some of that color we used just for the mountain shadows, that light blue, thin down with some paint thinner. And just for a little harmony, just add a little bit of that through here too. Just add a little bit of that through there too. Ah, there we go. Fixes it up real good. Nice. There we go. And then I want to do something real quick. I want to thin down some amazing white with some paint thinner. That way I can just get it to sprinkle. So I can get the spatter. And you thin it down to like it's ink. And then we're going to take our finger here and we're going to just splatter. And this will give you all kinds of beautiful little details in your little wildflowers. See that? Good. There we go. Now wash that old brush again. Okay, so now we have our little wildflowers in there. Just a nice little thing that you can do to about any painting that you do. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start working on my birch tree. So I got a nice square eraser. You can use a pink eraser. You can use whatever eraser you got. But I'm going to use this big square one. And I'm going to just start punching in where I want my beautiful birch tree to go. I'm going to use a full length of this. This thing's maybe 1 inch wide. I'm just going to pull it in here right where I want it to go. Right through here. See? And all of a sudden I just erase a big old chunk off of there. And that's how big I want my birch tree to be. Now you can make it a little wider if you want to. You can use the other little edge of it. And just make it just a little bit wider. Okay, and let's wipe off that old eraser. And let's go over here on this side here. Put a couple more in. Use firm pressure here. Firm pressure. Firm pressure. Maybe this here's a little bit on this wiggly side. There it goes. And then this one just kind of a little bit more straighter. And see, that's all there is to it, getting these birch trees in your painting. And then I'll take an old filbert brush here. And I'm just going to take a clean dry one now. And I'm just going to, looks like we got a little bit of something up there. Let me just get rid of that real quick. And we'll just try to come here and soften these in a little bit. Just kind of soften them in. Because we just removed the paint. We're softening it down. And I'm going to remove some more paint. But easily I removed that paint. Now I'm going to add titanium white to my brush. Just grab some titanium white. Put on an old filbert brush. And then on your right side, that's where your light's coming from. On the right side, start adding in your titanium white. Now I'm using titanium white soft today. I'm using the Grumbacher titanium white soft. Okay. Now I want this color to be muddy a little bit. I don't want it to be pure white. That's how you get a beautiful, soft, realistic looking birch tree. To go onto all your birch trees now and put in your highlight. So just go on the right side of it and put in your highlight just that easily. Try to stay inside your lines. Obviously it's going to be a little hard to do. But, because I'm not going to just try to stay there perfectly. Because one, it would take too long to do. And number two, there's no point to really do it that way. So make sure you wipe off your brush every time. Go back into your color. Again, there's some mud inside this paint because there's some picking up the dirty color underneath this, which is perfectly fine. And it's going to give it a realistic looking birch tree. Let's go to the other side here. As to what I'm doing and how it's working. I put titanium mud on. As you can see, it gets a little bit muddy. Okay, it's going to get a little bit muddy. That's perfectly fine. We'll get down here to the bottom. Now wipe off that brush each time that you paint through there. Wipe it off. It's going to pick up some mud, but we don't want to overpower it. See how that color just broke over top of that? And what this also brings is color harmony into your birch trees. Here's what it's worked it up. And then we'll make a shadow color. So we'll go to the palette, make our shadow. And then we're going to take ultramarine blue, a little dot of black, and probably a little bit of burnt sienna. Ultramarine blue and burnt sienna, blue and burnt sienna regardless. It's going to make a fantastic dark neutral gray. And we'll take titanium white with that, because we don't want it to be overpowering. But I want it to be nice and dark as well. More blue, I want it to be a little bit cooler as a shadow. Okay, and load up that old filbert brush. And let's go back here. Okay, so just fill it in, just like you did the highlight. Just fill it all the way in. Just like this. Just like this. Okay, so do that for all of your trees. See, just like so. So we're going to do that to the rest of the trees and we'll be right back. Okay, I'm just filling it in. Same exact way we did the white. Make sure you don't let your shadow be overpowering color. It needs to make sense with the color that's on your canvas. If you make it black, it's not going to look right. So you make sure it's a neutral, warm brown shadow color. If it's too cold, it's not going to look soft. If it's too dark, it ain't going to look soft. So I'll just fill that all in. Okay. Then I'm going to take a number 3 fan brush. Clean, dry one. And we're going to do what I call a zigzag stroke. You take a little bit of it in the tip of the corner. And you just zigzag it, just like this. Zigzag. Zigzag. All the way down. Right in the middle where those two colors meet. Zigzag. With an old filbert fan brush. Wipe out the brush when you need to. And then you're going to just pull it up. Just like that. And that gives you a blend. Just like that. Nice, good blend. Okay. That's simple to do. Really is simple. You may even want to add more white. And make it a little bit more on the light side here. But it's however way you want to go. I want more highlight than I do shadow on this. So that's why I just fill that in. And just do the same thing. We just use a little zigzag stroke. Just like that. See that? Work it all the way up the birch tree. And then give it just a little pull. Like that. See how that makes it look round? And then a little pull stroke to blend. See? That's beautiful. Ain't that easy to do? So let's go ahead and do it to the rest of the birch trees. Just like that. And then wipe off the brush. Give it a little pull. Same thing with the little ones. We're just using number 3. We're just using a number 3 fan brush. So we're just going to give it a little wiggle. All the way down. And then a little pull. It's a very quick, easy method to make a birch tree. And I think it looked the best. They're my favorite ways to go. I don't understand why anybody would do anything else. This is the way to do it. And a little pull stroke to help soften it. Okay, we have our birch trees all in here in place with a beautiful blending going on. Okay. And I'm going to take my palette knife and I'm going to take a little bit of black. Let's go to the palette. We're going to take a little black and we're going to take a little blue together. And I'm going to take some titanium white. Just making a nice dark gray with a little blue. And get a little roll paint. Now, I say a little roll paint, I mean hardly nothing is on there. Just a little bit like that right there. And we'll see what that does for us. But usually just a sliver. Just a sliver. We don't need much. Just a sliver. Let's go up here. Okay, so right through here, I'm going to show you what you're going to do. You're going to take this knife with no pressure. And kind of scrape it through. No pressure. Let the paint break. But let it scrape a little bit. Let it scratch a little bit. And then you go on the opposite side. And give it a little scrape. And do you see how this makes some beautiful looking birch tree? This looks like real birch trees here. When you do it this way. But you can do it however way you want to do it. However way you want to do it. But this is how I do it. And that's so easy to do. So easy to do like this. And just kind of work it up. And there you go. You pretty much have a finished birch tree at that point. You can add a few little limbs, and we will. So let's go to the little ones. Okay, I'm going to use a little edge of the knife. Use some common sense here. We're going to use a little edge of the knife for this side. And then just work it down. Work it down. See? Simple to do. And you make a beautiful, soft, elegant looking little birch tree. That easily. See how realistic that looks? And these are so easy to do. They're easier to do than any birch tree I've ever seen. Easiest way to do it. And I was out working in the studio trying to figure out how to make a nice, beautiful, easy birch tree. And this is how I came up with to make these beautiful birch trees. So this is my little technique of making birch trees here. But see how effective it is? Beautiful looking trees. Same thing with this one. We can keep on going. Okay, now that we have our birch trees pretty much all done, you can see how beautiful these look. I'm just going to just touch at the base of these trees over here with a 1-inch brush just to hit those a little bit. And then I'm going to take another fan brush. I'm going to use some black and some blue. And I'm just going to punch in the shadow that goes with these birch trees. Just like that. That way that, hey, they're in the painting. And we want them to stay in the painting, so add a little shadow to them. This one here is too far off the painting to do that with. Now I'm going to add just a few little areas of limbs. So I'm going to take my liner brush. And I'm going to thin down some just ivory black here. And I'm just going to put in just a few little tree limbs living in here. Just a few. Just a few living in here. See? Simple to do. You don't have to do a whole lot of them. Just like that. Give it a little breakage here too. But simple little things like that, it's really all you gotta do. Something simple and easy to do. Just like that. See, you can do it however way you want to do it. But again, I'm not going to go down too far on this birch tree. And you can even throw one like that. Just goes right out there. And maybe there's a little breaking. One broke off there. There you go. But you can do so much with this little technique. I'm going to take some of this gray. Let's go down here to the bottom. And just throw in a few little things like this. They just live out way out here in the back. There we go. I think with that I've got a finished little painting. There we go. Okay, so I just finished signing my painting, and it's always important to sign your painting and try to do it consistently over the year so people know, hey, that's your painting. So this was a fun one to do. This is not a super hard one to do. It does have some more advanced birch trees, but these birch trees are easier to paint than any other birch tree that I've done. If you try painting them with the palette knife, with the big dark, and then you start putting the white over, it gets clumpy. It gets real clumpy, and it don't look right. These are perfect birch trees. They're just fantastic. They look so realistic, and they're super, super easy to do. They're fantastic to do. And so whenever I learned to do these, I was playing around with different strokes and things. I was like, man, this is going to be a fantastic little way to do birch trees, and I want to share it with you. So this is fun to do. You don't have to do a lot of details in here, but you can take your time and do whatever you like. The little wildflowers down here are real easy to do. We've done them so many times on the show. Just remember to add your shadows. So we have our trees here. Remember to add your shadows, and it gives that more realistic look. It draws people back into your painting with the shadows. Make sure you don't forget you're adding your shadows to your birch trees. And just remember 1, 2, 3. So you need your highlight, your mid-tone, which is going to be our shadow, and our darkest color, which is going to be our little details inside the birch tree. So 1, 2, 3. Easy peasy. So I hope you try this one out. Please check out BrandonThomasArt.com and BrandonThomasArtSupply.com. That's where you can pick up my signature art supplies, my brushes and mediums and things we have on there. So thank you for watching me. I love you, but Jesus loves you more. God bless you, and I'll see you real soon.
The Painting with Magic Show with Brandon Thomas is brought to you by BrandonThomasArtSupply.com.